FOMO. I feel so funny making a video about this because it's low-key such a funny concept and a funny word. FOMO, LOMO, DOMO, Andrew Cuomo, FOMO. As funny as it sounds, it's a real pain in the ass. It's a real issue that a lot of real people struggle with, and very frequently, including me. But I'm lucky to say that over the last year or so, I've developed some really effective tools and coping mechanisms for fighting FOMO. And today I'm going to share them with you. But it requires kind of a perspective shift and just a way to think about your life a little bit differently. So hang with me now. Why should you listen to what I have to say about it? Well, I used to be a slave to FOMO. I know. Crazy. And to be honest, I still sometimes get taken hostage by FOMO. It's embarrassing, but all of us can admit, if we're really honest, that FOMO controls a lot of our lives and a lot of our day-to-day. In fact, that's probably why you clicked on this video. Don't worry, we're all in this fight together. Now, there's a million reasons behind FOMO, probably stemming from social media and all of the impact that that has. Scrolling through others' fun times makes it literally impossible to enjoy any of our lives. Take just last week for me. I just finished having a pretty good day, a pretty enjoyable Thursday. Work was fun, went to the gym after, and then met up with a friend for a wine happy hour. I just got back to my apartment, and then I opened Instagram. I see a story of a friend in Turkey on a hot air balloon, and suddenly I'm depressed. Just like that, my life sucks. Why am I not on a hot air balloon in Turkey right now? Like, what? It makes literally no sense. I had a good ass day. Why do I suddenly want to go to Turkey? Did I even ever want to go to Turkey? Not really, but now it looks cool because someone else is there. Now, I haven't solved FOMO, but I have analyzed my own FOMO for the last 3 years, and I've come up with some pretty good observations that you can use in your daily fight against FOMO. 1. FOMO comes from constant comparison. Now, this one is pretty obvious. You're comparing what you're doing or have done to what someone else is doing or has done, like in my hot air balloon example. 2. I think FOMO boils down to one root cause, which is not knowing what you want. In my case, I didn't know I wanted to go to Turkey, at least not until I saw that story. Brand new discovery. Now I can just add it onto my places to visit list and make plans to go in the future, and I'll have a great time. Problem solved. And number 3, there's 2 types of FOMO: actionable FOMO and non-actionable FOMO. I like to call it good FOMO, bad FOMO. In my hot air balloon example, that's actually good FOMO. Yay! Even though at the time I felt this pinch of like envy, jealousy, like damn, I really want to be there. This is good because it's actionable. I have learned that I now want to go to Turkey and I can do something about it. So the mental pain in the moment will make me prioritize it, and I'll make sure to make it happen in the near future, and I'll have a great time. Now, bad FOMO or non-actionable FOMO kind of sucks because there's no real action that you can take. You simply feel left out, or maybe you feel some feelings of regret. Picture this. You're at home watching TV when you open up your phone, go to social media, and see a story of someone who just went to the new pop-up bar in the city. You immediately feel what? FOMO. Damn, I want to go to this pop-up bar. But do you? If you really did, you should have made plans to go and check it out. So either you never really wanted to go there in the first place, and your brain is kind of tricking you, and you're comparing their bar experience to whatever you're doing right now. This is classic bad FOMO. It's non-actionable FOMO. There's nothing you can do. You made up your decision and you chose whatever you're doing now over another experience that you could have had at the same time. You made your decision and now you have to live with it and the accompanying sucky feeling of FOMO. In this case, just remind yourself of why you couldn't go. It's probably a good reason. Now, there's some other possibilities here. Maybe you didn't even know about the pop-up bar. If it's too late to go and the pop-up is closed, that's just tough luck. Non-actionable FOMO, there's nothing you can do there. Don't blame yourself, have some grace. You didn't know. You'll be ready for the next one. If it's not too late and the pop-up is still going on, now great, this is good FOMO. Yay! Actionable FOMO, you can now make some plans to go check it out. And in another scenario, maybe you did know about it and you did want to go, you just never got around to making those plans. Once again, this is good, actionable FOMO because now you can prioritize making those plans because of the sucky feeling that you have right now. So go make those plans. Let's try another example. Your friends all invite you to go on a trip with them to, I don't know, let's say Norway. Now you're torn because it's an overall fun crew and it sounds like it'll be a really good time, but it sounds like you have to turn it down because there's too many cons. You can't afford it right now, you can't afford to take off time from work, and maybe you just don't like the cold. You'd rather go somewhere else on another vacation another time. So you say no, and while they're there, you watch them make all these fun memories through the gram. FOMO? Absolutely. Sure, of course, they're your buds and they're having a good time without you. But did you do anything wrong? No. You made a decision based on the facts for something that was best for you, and now you're living with it. You were invited, which is great, and you're still gonna be buds after this. It'll be a tough week sitting with this bad or non-actionable FOMO, but you'll get through it. Remind yourself of the decision you made when you decided not to go, and again, give yourself grace. If you really regret it and the FOMO is really bad, then this can actually become good FOMO because you'll realize that you made a mistake, and next time there's a similar opportunity or choice to make, then you'll know exactly what to choose, which is going on the vacation in this example. We're humans, hooray! We're stupid, we learn, we adapt. All right, let's try one more example, right? Your coworker and your friend, or so you thought, throws a party or an event and doesn't invite you. You see the recap on your socials and all of a sudden, intense FOMO. What do? Well, you could reach out to them and be like, yo, where my invite at? Thing is, unless you're really close to this person, most people really don't like getting that message. It comes off as kind of desperate and sounds like you had nothing better to do. And even if you didn't, you don't want to sound like that. It's not gonna convince them to invite you to another thing. So what then? Just be upset? Well, I would argue that once again here, the FOMO is a good thing. It's actionable. The FOMO and the pain here tells you that this person that you thought was a close friend may be actually on a lower tier. Maybe they don't prioritize you like you do them. What about you? Have you invited them to stuff recently? Maybe it's on you then to also make more of an effort into the friendship so that it's reciprocated. But maybe you're a great friend, and in this case, they just did you dirty. And in that case, what you have to ask yourself is this really where I want to spend my time? With someone who doesn't appreciate you? Is that what you want? Maybe it's time to reanalyze and rethink some of your assumptions. Again, it's stemming from, what do you want? Is this really what you want? To be begging for an invite to something? Don't you deserve better? I feel like I'm teaching a lecture right now. FOMO has so many layers to it. It's usually valid, it can be triggered by a whole host of situations, and it's pretty annoying. The worst part is, it's nearly impossible to avoid. In fact, you're gonna get FOMO often, and probably for the rest of your life. I mean, think about it. FOMO on some level is triggered every time you miss out on something else you could be doing. That's everything. All the time. So if you're someone who really struggles with it, now is your time to practice and become a FOMO fighting expert. I wouldn't even say it's fighting FOMO so much as it is recognizing it. Recognizing the root cause and whether or not it's actionable. This is how I imagine me on the battlefield with FOMO. Damn, why didn't I go to this again? Oh, FOMO, come on in. Yeah, tell me more. Actionable? Yep. Yeah, we'll make those plans. Sure. Again, if there's anything that you can take away from this, it's that there's two types of FOMO. Actionable, non-actionable. Good and bad. If it's actionable, perfect. Figure it out and take action. If it's not, remind yourself of the decisions you've made and the fact that it's not your fault. Give yourself grace because it's probably just a sucky situation. And worst case, if you really feel like shit and FOMO is just like beating down on you, just try to distract yourself because FOMO is temporary and it'll go away pretty quickly on its own. Yay! Like whenever I get FOMO because I skipped or wasn't invited to a party on like a Saturday, I'm over it by Sunday morning. And so are the people who actually went. Why? Because it's over. There's nothing to FOMO about when it's over. So don't stress, you just have to outlast the feeling. Distract yourself. And that's just the worst case scenario because now you have all these tools that I just gave you. All this to say, FOMO sounds funny, but it is serious and it is scary. But ultimately, it is just a feeling and you can cope with it like any other feeling. This perspective shift has been doing wonders for me recently. Sadly, with FOMO though, it's like a weekly battle and sometimes I still lose. But hey, progress is progress. Let me know if these techniques help you out. Remember, we're all in this together. Okay, bye!